All right, welcome to the Sports Business Accelerator free training. Today I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to scale your sports training business, whether you're in soccer, basketball, football, volleyball, baseball, whatever you're running. I'm going to show you exactly how to scale your sports training business to $10, $20, even $30,000 a month. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Noah Varner, and I help sports training business owners like this scale their existing training business to their revenue goals and beyond. My goal with this free training is to show you guys the biggest problems that sports training business owners run into when trying to scale this type of business and show you exactly how to overcome those problems and help you get to your business to your next revenue goal. All right. By the end of this video, you know exactly how to scale your sports training business to $10,000 to $30,000 a month. And just to show you guys, I know what I'm talking about a little bit, social proof just included some of the work that I do with my clients here, but I've got way more testimonials that I'll go into later. So let's not waste any time here. All right. So before we get into it, guys, I think it's really important that you guys understand who I am, right? And how I was lucky enough to be in this position to help coaches like you scale their training business. Okay. So like most of you, right? Like I started off with playing a sport, right? I started my journey as a youth soccer player, played on the #2 ECNL team in the country when I was in high school, and even had a trial with Premier League team, West Ham United. That's actually me in the squad right there. I think, yeah, that's me right there over my face. Okay, I went there. I had a little trial when I was younger. When I was in high school, unfortunately, I was an extremely injury-prone player. I spent maybe like 2 years on the sidelines, so I knew I wasn't going to make it far. I was destined for coaching at some point. And, after multiple surgeries, time missed, I was lucky enough to accept a full ride scholarship to play Division I soccer at the University of North Carolina, Asheville. This is where I played for 3 years. And actually, this is a picture of me playing right here. We sucked, so it was a very difficult time to play there. But yeah, played there for 3 years. And then, by the spring of 2022, 3 years after me playing and into me playing, I quit playing soccer to pursue being a business owner full time. Clearly, I am not a speller. That's why I run businesses, not grammar. Okay, but I pursue a business full time. And then at the time of quitting, I was dead broke. I had nothing. Right, like I had previously lost my mother to cancer back in 2014. And that had brought some extremely unfortunate financial circumstances, right? And basically meaning that I was broke and I had no family to give me money, take me in, or help me in the slightest. So, before starting my business, I had tried about everything up until this point, right? Like anything I could do to make money. Right, like back in 2019, I was an athlete, right? So I was playing in college at the time when I did start trying to earn money. And basically, I started with Instacart, with DoorDash, right? And because it was at the time, like you're a college student, you're a college athlete more so, especially Division I athlete, like it's a full-time job, right? So I had to figure out how to make money on my own and find time freedom to make money myself. Okay, so that's when I invested into a Prius. And this is actually my grandmother right here. She had to co-sign the loan, obviously, because I couldn't afford it, right? But we bought a Prius, still have that thing for some reason. Toyotas never die, okay? But I continue Instacarting all the way through college until I ended up getting banned. Don't deliver alcohol to someone without an ID, just heads up there. And, with no other way to make money, I turned to retail arbitrage. So essentially, I'd go to thrift shops, buy shoes, clean them up, sell them on eBay for profit, which wasn't exactly the best way of making money, right? But I was trying, right? Like a lot of you guys, I was trying to make money, trying to be successful. And, after that, I was becoming sick and tired of making crap money and doing what I hated. So that's when I turned to soccer training. And, essentially, I quit playing soccer and I went all in on my private training business. And, I started out with one player, and this is the first player I ever started out with. And it was just me as a coach. And, within 14 months, I had grown the business from one player to over 100 plus players that we saw every single week. I had 6 coaches on staff. I had 2 different training locations. We did a little bit over 6 figures within our first year in business. And I actually took a screenshot of our June month back when in our first year, because at that time, to me, $16,000 in 1 month was a lot. Right now, it's not, but back then, when you're a broke college kid, it's a lot, right? So this success allowed me to unlock that financial and time freedom that I was looking for within a year of starting. And once that started happening, I was able to start taking vacations almost every month while my business was still running. Again, with the grammar, was still running. And these are actually a couple of my pictures of me going on these trips. It was me with one of my best friends, Larson, actually current pro soccer player as well. We were in Puerto Rico surfing. Then I went to Washington, D.C., headed over to Barcelona, Spain for the New Year's. And then, St. Beach, Florida, and something that I really, really love to do, which is surfing. I love to just drop everything when there's swell and drive 2-3 hours to the beach and rip the swell, come back, go to the coffee shop and work a little bit. And I was able to manage my business, right? I was able to do the things that I love. I was able to find that financial and time freedom. And, after finding that crazy success within the first year of my training business, like I knew I could help others do the exact same. So that's when I launched the Sports Business Accelerator. So now that you know about me, right, let's get into how I can help you. Okay, so the question that you've been wondering is, how do I scale my sports training business to 10 to 30K a month? Okay, now this might sound outlandish, but it is very, very possible if you guys do it right and you take it seriously. Okay, now I've worked with over 45 sports training businesses, helping them scale their business. And there are 3 major bottleneck problems that almost all training businesses run into that prevents them from growing further. And I'm going to put them in order, and I'm going to put a problem, and I'm going to put a solution in order so we can solve these in real time. Okay? So the first problem that most businesses incur is that they aren't structured for scale. All right? Meaning that to determine this, basically, you need to imagine if you brought on 5 times the amount of clients right now. Would you have the capacity to handle that volume, right? Like, do you have the back-end systems in place? Are you not on Google Sheets? You have a CRM? Like, do you have automation set up? Like, do you have the systems in place to handle that volume, right? And are your programs set up to be able to add that many clients that quickly? Right? Like, do you have the capacity to handle all those kids? Do you have the systems in place? Are your programs set up to be able to handle 5x the amount of clients if you brought them on right now? And if you answered no to any of those questions, then your business is not structured for scale. Okay. So how do you solve this problem? So how we solve this problem in the SBA is by structuring your business for scale. Okay. So there's a few factors that we first need to look at to determine how we need to restructure the business for scale. Okay, so the first few questions that now I'm always asking my clients is, are the programs that are you offering scalable? 2, what is your offer? And then 3, what back-end systems do you have in place? Okay, so these 3 questions alone will determine if your business is in a right place to scale. Okay, so first off, let's look at each factor and how to make each successful. Okay, so first one is offer scalability. All right, so this is the scalability pyramid. All right, so basically, how scalable is your offer? How scalable is your programs, right? And I've made a little pyramid here for you guys to help you understand. So levels of scalability in a training business is simple, right? Obviously, at the top, and it goes from least scalable to most scalable here, with the price of each program increasing as it gets least scalable. Okay, so it's kind of an inverse, right? So at the top, you've got one-on-one training. This is by far the least scalable model. All right, but you also can charge the most, but it's the least margin. I've worked with guys that are doing. I've worked. My favorite clients that I've ever worked with, they first came to me actually, and they were doing over 80 one-on-ones a week with like 6 or 7 coaches on staff, right? And they're doing over like $15,000-$16,000 a month. But the problem is they were only taking home half of that, 53% margin, I believe. And it was purely because they were doing one-on-one trainings. Like, it was all one-on-one trainings. And the problem with that is it's not scalable. You can do $30,000 a month, but if you're only taking home half of that, what is the purpose of all that stress dealing with all those coaches to get those one-on-one sessions, right? Like, you can scale it, but it's very, very difficult. And we want to make our lives as easy as possible. Now, for my guys and all the coaches that I work with, I recommend that they do all of it and have coaches just do the one-on-one training for them. You don't want to spend time as a business owner doing one-on-one trainings or even the small group trainings. All right. Like your time is worth your money. Like we need to be down here working on this stuff. Okay. But one-on-one training is by far the least scalable model in terms of training. Okay. Then we've got small group training. Okay. So this is next down the least scalable. So this is just small group training. So 4 to 6 players. This is where you're charging anywhere from, $40 to $60 a session, maybe 65, might be pushing it a little bit, but this is where you're going to start seeing more and more money per hour, right? Like with the one-on-one training, you can only charge, like the most I've ever seen someone charge is $150 an hour for a session, right? And you're capping yourself. And even then, you're in it, like you have to be in an area that is just unreal and has a ton of money in it. Like you're not going to find that all over the world, right? So that you're capping yourself with the one-on-one training. Now with the small group training, let's say you have 6 players paying you $50 an hour, that's $300 for the hour. Okay, so you can make good money doing small group training, but it's still not the most scalable. And if you guys want to go and turn into a next level academy where you've got multiple locations under your belt, you've got 10, 20 coaches under your belt, and you're making $30,000, $40,000 a month, it's not going to be with small group training, and it's certainly not going to be with one-on-one training. Doesn't mean we can't offer it, just means we don't want to focus on that. All right, so here, this yellow piece, this is the prime spot. This is where all academies and training programs thrive with the best margin and the best bang for their buck. Okay. And this is big group trainings and clinics. Okay. So anywhere from 6 to 18 players. Now, that doesn't mean that you're doing the trainings with you're just yourself, right? Like it's one coach and 18 players. That's not what it means. Okay. But you're running a session that is big. So like, let's say you have 15 players, you've got 2 coaches running the session, maybe even 3 sessions, but it's all within the same hour block, right? And if, imagine you've got 15 players that are all paying you, let's say even on a cheap end, $100 a month, which is only $25 a session, right? I mean, we are talking about, over $1,500 a month. And that is extremely, extremely cheap for what you guys are offering, right? From 1 hour work, anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month. Imagine that, right? Just from 1 hour a week of work. Okay, you stack 3 of those in a day, or you stack 3 of those in a day. We're talking about anywhere from $5,000 to $7,500 a month that you're creating from 3 hours of work a week. Okay, so you can see how scalable and how much money you can actually make in this type of business if you do it right. Okay, you can't scale to that type of number doing the small group and the one-on-one training. And then, of course, the camps at the bottom here. This is the most scalable model. But, of course, you can't do that year-round. Camps are something, at least for what I teach, is you can do camps seasonally. So you can do a winter camp, a spring camp. You can do a few summer camps. You can do multiple summer camps. Like you can do one each month, and then you can do a fall camp, right? So you can get in 6 camps a year. You got 50 players in those camps that are all paying you, $200 for the weekend, right? We're talking, tens of thousands of dollars that you can be making from these camps, right? But it's just, at the end of the day, though, it is the most scalable model because yes, you can bring in the most clients, but at the end of the day, you can't run that year round. That's why this is the gold zone right here. Big group trainings and clinics. This is where you are going to be the most scalable. Now, I'm sure some of you guys already know that, right? But a lot of coaches aren't thinking that way, right? Like you need to be in a scalable model. Okay, so make sure your program has scalability. Okay, so once it has scalability now, so we can actually scale into doing big numbers, right? We need to figure out our specific offer. All right, so this is the next factor on how to be successful. Okay, there's 3 mini factors within the specific offer, which is program value, payment collection method, and price. Okay, so with program value, you want to make sure that you are adding value creators to your program. Okay, so for instance, most of you are probably, whatever sport you're in, I'm going to just choose soccer because I'm a soccer guy. Okay, so most sports or more soccer trainers or coaches and businesses are just offering soccer training. That's it. Boring. It's boring. Okay, and you look like everybody else, right? Like, yes, you get 4 sessions a month and then you get a training shirt. Every other business in your area is doing the exact same thing, guys. You have got to be different. So what I mean by adding program value is by adding value creators to your program that's not only going to make your athletes better, but it's going to make your program more valuable in the eyes of the customer in comparison to your competition. Okay, so what I mean by that is, you got your 4 sessions a month, right? You got your training shirt that everybody offers, but then on top of that, you offer like a drill library at home, okay? Or you offer them drill homework that you assign to them, or you offer them workouts or a nutrition plan, or whatever you can offer your athletes to make them better, but not only train them in person, but at home as well. You're going to make your program stand out by far in comparison to anyone and everyone, which is allow you ultimately going to be able to charge more and attract more clients. Okay. So once you've started offering more, you've basically started offering more stuff in your program to make it better for your athletes, right? Now we have to look at payment collection model. Okay. So here we need to determine how are you charging for sessions? All right. I have seen literally everything. I have seen the per session model. I have seen the packs of session model. I have seen a recurring model. I've seen an upfront and full for a full year model. I've seen everything, okay? And by far, the best model is going to be the recurring model, okay? The reason per session doesn't work is, one, there's nothing that solidifies your payment. You can't depend on per session because people can buy the sessions, or they can, let's say they buy a pack of, 5 or 10 sessions, right? There's no expiration date. So they can take however long. Like, I'm sure some of you have, and maybe you haven't, right? But you haven't done the volume yet to experience this problem. But essentially, if you sell a 10 session pack, there's no expiration date. Jimmy can take 2 years to finish all 10 sessions, right? That's not how you build a business, okay? Look at your local gyms. Does your local gym sell per session? No, they don't. They sell a membership, right? That's recurring, okay? That's how they stay. That's how they're huge. That's how they dominate, right? They don't dominate by selling session packs. Session packs is, and I'm sorry, but it's idiotic, right? Like you cannot recur money. There's not money coming back, because the problem is you always have to go back and sell them. Even if they use all the sessions in the allotted time that you do give them, even then you still have to go sell them again. You still have to go there and be like, hey, you guys want to buy another session? Did we do good this week? Did you guys want to buy some more sessions? Right? And clients that love you guys, yeah, sure, they'll keep coming back. But you can't depend on that. You can't depend on that at all, right? Because there'll be people that are they might love your stuff, but they're so busy that they're going to take forever to Venmo. Like, I'm sure like a bunch of you have, I know that a ton of you have experienced, points where you're doing the sessions with people and they don't pay you until last minute. They don't pay you till the kid shows up at the field. They don't pay you till the session's over, right? Like, they forget to pay you, or you're constantly asking them to pay you, right? Like, that's the problem with the per session and selling session packs without expirations, right? Now, if you're selling 6 months of training and, it's not a recurring model, that's fine, because at least it's 6 months of training. That's a big package that you have to go out and sell people. That's fine. Anything less than 6 months is not, you don't want to do that, right? You want it on recurring, right? So recurring is a monthly, 3, 6, or 12 month, right? Now, for my students, we go and we only offer 3, 6, or 12 month upfronts. And then essentially, if they can't pay that up front, they can't afford it, then we offer them a monthly, and they have to commit to you with an agreement to that specific allotted time. Okay, now this is how you create revenue that's constantly coming in every 3, 6, 12 months, or every month, right? And that's money you can depend on. I don't have to go back and have to sell those people. It's automatically going to withdraw from their account. And if they want to cancel, then they have to come to me and talk to me about it. And then I have a 30-day cancellation period, just like all gyms do, right? That's, at the end of the day, guys, that's how you protect yourself, right? It's saying, okay, look, if you guys plan on ending training, I'll cut the subscription if you tell me 30 days in advance before the next renewal date. If you tell me within the renewal date, then there's a cancellation fee, or you're going to automatically get renewed, right? So people have to follow your rules. You're in charge. You're in power. They have to follow what you're doing, what you say, your rules, what your agreement says. Because if you don't operate your business like that, you're going to get walked all over, taken advantage of, everything. I mean, I've seen literally everything. Parents will do whatever they want. Okay. So after adding program value, after switching over to the recurring model, okay, so now you need a premium price. All right. So cheap versus premium price. Okay. So with your one-on-ones need to be the most premium price. Okay. It has to be a high ticket price. Like I'm talking, 90 to $100 an hour up front. So we're talking to $1,000 to $1,200, $1,500, all up front. Okay. The purpose is it for 90% of people not to be able to afford it. That is the point, guys. That's the point. You can still get results for your athletes in small group training or big group training that you can in the one-on-ones, right? You just got to make sure that your training program is up to par. If you can't get results within your groups as you can with the one-on-ones, then yeah, you shouldn't be doing group work, right? But then at that point, you're probably not that good of a coach at that point, right? So you've got to be able to get to that point, okay? But all of you should be able to get the same results you get within a small group training as you do with a one-on-one, okay? But your one-on-one, it needs to be a premium price, like a lot of money in comparison to your small group training. I usually say to 2-to-1 ratio. So if I charge, let's say I charge $1,000 for 3 months of one-on-one training, my group training needs to be $500 max, $600 max, maybe $600, right? There needs to be a large price discrepancy to show why the one-on-one training is so valuable and why it's a premium price. Right. And then everybody who can't afford the one-on-one, which is going to be most people, you're just be like, okay, well, I still get really good results with the small group training and it's way more affordable and you still get all this great stuff and you still get to train with me. And most people are going to be like, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Right. So the 3 factors within your specific offers: program value, so adding value creators, payment collection model, recurring model, and a premium price. Okay. And then 3. So the third factor on how to make your structure of your business successful is the back-end systems that you have in place. Okay. So most of you guys are on Google Sheets, all right, which is cool, which is fine, right? That's where I started. And I didn't know about CRMs up until, I started taking my business seriously and scaling very quickly and ran into those scaling problems. Okay. But the back-end systems are so important because if you don't have systems in place that you have automated systems, lead gen to book call systems. You don't have appointment setter, people setting appointments for your sales calls, right? Like you're managing all your leads on Google Sheets and collecting payments and putting it down like manually. Like you're taking a ton of time up to do that. And ultimately for you guys to scale to the next level and do volume, you'll never, ever, ever be able to do that. You'll never be able to run your business without a legit CRM that's doing it all. For my clients, I give them the CRM, I give them the system. I'm actually going to release it to the public with all the systems in place, specifically made for training academies. Right? But that's what you need. You need systems in place to be able to scale upon. Because if you don't have the right systems in place, you're going nowhere. All right. So by having a scalable offer and a valuable program with a recurring model and the back-end systems in place, then you're going to be able to pass the 5X rule. So you'll be ready to start bringing on a ton of clients, right? And that's when we begin to bring on new clients. All right. So the second problem that you guys are going to run into is you don't have a consistent, reliable way of generating leads for your business. All right. So I need you to ask yourselves right now, are you bringing in 40 to 50 new leads a month into your business? And are you signing at least 10 clients a month? All right. And I'm talking reliable. I'm not talking like 1 month I did the 10 clients and the next month I did like 6 or 7, right? Like if you're someone who's just there relying on word of mouth and you think you've got connections in your area and you know a lot of people, like you're not going to go far. I'm sorry. Like I've run into so many people so many arrogant business owners that are like, yeah, I know so many, I don't need help with lead generation. I'm bringing in, 7 clients in, sometimes a month, right? By just purely relying on people that I know. And that, my friends, you will fail. You will ultimately fail because that is not consistent, right? Like I've tried literally everything and I've very well connected in my area, and you can know everybody and their brother, and eventually that lead source will tap out, or 1 month you'll have a struggling month, and you can't afford those in business. Like you need to consistently be growing. Like they need to consistently be coming in like clockwork. All right. So if you answer no, that you're not bringing in at least 10 leads a month, you're not bringing in at least 40 to 50 leads a month with 10 new clients consistently every single month, then you have a lead gen problem. Okay. And how do we solve this problem? All right. So you need to set up systems for lead generation. All right. So there's 5 different systems that you can set up for lead gen. All right. One is going to be a referral system. So this is player referrals. 2 is going to be a cold outreach system. So we're talking SMS, emails, DMs. 3 is going to be a partnership and sponsorship system. So going to local clubs, local stores, local restaurants, getting partnerships and sponsorships. All right. And then 4 is making organic content. So we're talking social media content, Instagram, Facebook. And then 5 is an advertising system. All right. The best and most reliable lead generation system in 2024 and will be forever is advertising mixed in with organic content on social media. All right. So paid ads are the only way to bringing leads consistently into your business. And trust me, I have literally tried everything. Okay. And by far, paid ads are 100% the most consistent, reliable way of bringing in leads and ultimately clients and business into your training business. And why it works is because it's pay to win, right? So the more you spend, the more you earn. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean if you guys go out there and try to run an ad, not knowing what the hell you're doing and spending a bunch of money, it means it's going to work. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work, right? You still need good messaging. You still need to know what you're doing, right? But how the algorithm works is Facebook wants you to succeed. They want you to spend more money with them, or any advertising platform. They want you to spend more money with them. The only way you spend more money with them is by seeing a return on investment, making money from those advertisements, right? So they're going to do whatever they need to do in their power to make sure that your ad is seen and is you're getting leads in the door and you're getting results, and ultimately you're generating revenue from it, because then you'll keep coming back to spend more money with them, right? And they want that. So they're incentivized to make you win. So the more that you pay them, the more likely you're going to win, obviously, again, with good messaging. Now, check out the stats on one of my clients here on their March ad report. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about right here, guys. So here we go. They brought in 70 between March 1st and March 31st in 2024. They brought in 79 leads, 79 on Facebook and Instagram. 79. Okay, that's crazy. 79 new contact information. From those 79 people, they reached 27,000 accounts, 96,000 impressions, only spending $859 on ads, which is insane for 80 leads, 79 leads. Okay, that's a $10.88 per lead. That's insane. Okay, $859 is spent for 79 leads. That's $10.88 a lead. Okay, and from this generated them $5,102 in revenue. Okay, so that's over a 5-to-1 return on their ads. All right, so imagine throwing almost $1,000 out there onto the internet and it returns $5,000. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what I teach my clients how to do. And it's not some get rich scheme, right? Like, this sounds too good to be true. I totally get that, right? That's exactly what I thought when I first discovered ads, right? But it is true. Like I said, though, you can't just throw money out there and expect it to come back. Like, you need good systems in place, right? Like, 5-to-1 return, guys, that's an industry average. Like, do your research. It is an industry average on returns. If you are below a 5-to-1 return on ads, then you are not doing well. You're doing below average in the all industries across the world who are running advertisements. Okay. And like, again, it sounds too good to be true, but you have to do it right? That's why most people don't do it, because they don't understand how to run ads. They don't understand what a good value and what a good hook value call to action formula is. They don't understand how to put a lead form into place to collect client information. They don't understand those things, which is why people fail, right? And, I know some of you are watching this have probably tried ads and be like, damn, like, Noah, this, it failed for me. I tried it. I spent $50 and it failed because you spent $50. All right. Running advertisements is like, for the first week, it's like you just lighting like a bundle of money on fire. I see it as an investment in the long game, because you have to see ads as a long-term investment, right? Because you're going to lose money. Like, the first $500 you spend is probably going to be a donation to Facebook. But then after that, all your ads are going to optimize and figure out their specific target niche, and then it's going to start working and you're going to start seeing results like what we saw here with one of my clients. Okay. You have to be willing to spend that money and realize that, okay, I'm going to lose this money at first, but in the end, it's going to come back to me. All right. But again, as long as you have the right hook, value, and call to action with a lead form attached to the specific ad, and then you have good copy on the ad, you're going to succeed. Right. You can't just throw up the ad for fun, because it's basically just lighting money on fire if you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of you guys have probably just thrown up ads and have literally know what you're doing and donated money to Facebook, and you gave up and you quit. And you're like, oh, ads don't work anymore. They do work. You just don't know what you're doing, right? I mean, this lead gen system alone, you could run your business off of. Alone. You could never get a single referral, a single cold message, partnership, or anything. You can get not a single lead from any of those systems, and you will dominate wherever you are, right? The moment that I discovered how to run ads for my soccer academy is the moment that I started dominating and I started going crazy, right? And you're just one ad away from changing your business, and you're changing your business's future and ultimately your life. Okay, that's how strongly I feel about ads, right? So now that you've got a structured business in place, right, that can take on 5x the amount of leads, and now we're consistently bringing in clients, dozens of clients that are joining your business every single month, that's when we go to problem 3. Okay, so this is actually a good problem to have. All right, but this is when your program is going to reach max capacity. Okay, so you're either going to run into you don't have any capacity with the staff that you have, right? So whether you run out of room with the amount of coaches that you have, or the location that you're in, you simply, for the hour that you've rented or whatever, wherever you're doing it, doesn't have the capacity to hold more clients. Okay, both of these are a good problem to have, but you don't want to run into these problems, because this is going to stop you from growing, which is ultimately going to negatively affect your business. And Warren Buffett once said, right, like if your business isn't growing, it's dying. So you don't want to get into a place where you're stalled and you're like, crap, I need a new location, or crap, I need more coaches, right? Like here, I teach my students how to avoid these problems in the beginning, to start bringing on clients and start thinking, or start bringing on coaches in the beginning and thinking about those things. But this is the problem that you're ultimately going to hit after you've brought on a ton of coaches or a ton of clients and your business is structured for scale. Okay, you will hit this point at some point, and you need to be able to get over this hump. And how you're going to solve that problem is rather simple. Okay, simpler than I'm about to make it be. All right, so there's a problem with both of those issues that I mentioned about. All right, so, or there's a solution for both of them. And if you have room at your location to open up more trainings during the hours, so let's say you're running, you're a basketball academy, you're running 5 to 8 o'clock, you rent the gym, and you're only using half the gym, or you could be splitting the gym up into 2, but you're using the whole, right? Then you can open up more trainings, but you can't do it with the staff that you have. So you might be just yourself, or it just might be you and another coach, right? Then at that point, you're going to need to hire new coaches. All right. And that can be a painful process. If you have already hired coaches, you guys already know how pain in the butt it is, right? And it can be detrimental to your business if you don't do it right. All right. Because I was in a spot where I hired a bunch of coaches real fast and was like, okay, you guys got it. And my business ultimately ended up starting to fail because I wasn't training them. I didn't have a process at the time that was allowing me to find coaches and to build that ideal business, right? So it's harder than what I'm about to make it. It's harder than what I'm about to make it sound. It's going to be easier than what I'm about to make it sound. But basically, you just need to find coaches that are your ideal coach. Right. So find the ideal person that you want working for you. And then you need to spend a ton of time with them over several months, a few months, and get them up to standard. Right. Like you need a set progression on how you're going to train these guys to get them to the point that they can take over your business and start training. Okay. But you need a set process. If you don't have a set process, you're not going to be able to do that. Right. And then, let's say you don't have a staff problem, like you have plenty of staff, but you have a location problem, right? So if you have staff availability for more trainings, but your location doesn't have the capacity to run more trainings at the same time, then you're going to need a second location. Okay. So a second location isn't difficult if you have a director who's trained over several months. Okay. So in my experience, having somebody in a separate location, they need to be just like you. They need to be good as you. Not at 100%, but 90%, right? They need to be very, very good at what you do. You could be able to trust them, right? Because you guys will lose sleep at night, if they're running another location for you. You will. You're thinking about liability. You're thinking about, is the business failing? You're thinking about, are they doing a good job over there? Right? Like, you need somebody who you can trust that is going to be able to take that over for you. All right. Now, either way, regardless, to get over this problem, this bottleneck, you're going to need a proven way to train coaches. Okay. So they can be up to standard. All right. So now we've walked through those three problems. With those three problems, then you should have zero reason not to be making at least 10K a month, $10,000 to $30,000 a month in your training business. All right. Solving those three problems will get you to those numbers. Right. If you're someone who is experiencing any of those problems in your business today and you're sick and tired of these issues, then let me walk you through more about how I solve these issues within the SBA and the coaches that I work with. Okay, so the Sports Business Accelerator. So who do we help? All right, so we help sports training business owners that are already coaching athletes and are trying to scale their training businesses to 10 to 30K a month. All right, we're only working with people that are go-getters, action takers, right? Because in my experience, people who show those qualities end up getting results like these people, right? Like Peter, who came in, started from zero, started going to $2,000 a month right away, right? Or Robbie, who they added an extra $3,000 of profit, working 60% less hours, which is insane. These guys were working like 25 hours a week, each of them. And we chopped it down 60% less hours, right? To get them 3K of extra profit. And they did less revenue, but they made $3,000 more in profit, which is insane. Okay, or AJ, who made 3K in his first week in one specific day on just signing somebody up for two 2-on-1s for 6 months of training for 1 hour a week, 3K, insane, right? Or Julian, who had he signed a 3-month 1-on-1 for $900, right out the gate, started working with me. Alexis, who he started with 3 clients. Right, brought in 10 new leads, brought in 3 new clients into his business within like the first 2 weeks. Like right off of the onboarding call, he started getting leads and clients in the door immediately. Or Gabe, who was my first coach I ever started working with, actually, and he got somebody to commit to 45 sessions up front, which was absolutely crazy. And he's actually one of my best pupils. He's now doing a lot of money. He's been working with over 40 to 50 players. Came to me with 15 to 20 players. Right, you guys can actually check out that testimonial video, that interview, up on my YouTube page as well. Okay, or Juan, who signed somebody or these 2 girls to training twice a week for $2,400 upfront for 3 months of training. Okay, $2,400. That's $10,000 a year in recurring revenue from 2 little girls that train twice a week. Okay, that's insane. All right, or Drew, who signed. He's got a month or 2 sessions per week. I'm also talking with 6 potential clients. 3 I signed at $200 a month a week. Right, like. He never thought he could make a living from what he does. And now within 1 month in the program, he's helped me earn more income than my job is doing. And he's doing what he loves, right? Like, that's what I do. That's what we do. We help people who want to turn their dream job into a reality, right? Because that was me at one point. I was not making jack squat, doing soccer training and doing jobs I didn't like, but ultimately I wanted to be this is my full-time job. And that's what we do. We help people grow their training businesses and be successful and do it for life. Okay. Now, what is it? So this is a business consulting program that helps coaches scale their existing training businesses, their private sports training business. So, we're currently, people come to us with some, at least one client, right? Sometimes I take guys with 0 if you're really, really motivated and, that this is what you want to do. Right, then I help people at any point. But we help existing coaches with current training businesses, and we help them scale. Right, so I'm currently working with over 45 coaches right now in various sports. I mean, soccer, basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, everything. All right, and I'm helping them achieve their financial goals. Right, so they come to me whether they're doing 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 10 to $20,000, whatever, and I help them get over their humps, their problems, solve their issues, and get them to that next level, get them to their next revenue goal and beyond. Okay, so how do we help? So we first start by mapping out your entire business. All right, so we find the problems in your structures and systems, and then we create a plan on how to solve those problems. All right. So here's an example of one of my top guys. Right. We came in, very first meeting that we do is we break their entire business down. I poke a bunch of holes in your structure in your business, and then we make a plan to solve those problems, and then we make an exact plan on what we need to do to go from one revenue goal to the next revenue goal. All right. Then once your business is built out, once your business is structured for the 5X rule, then we build out your marketing systems together. Okay, so we're going to build out your paid ad system. That's ads and organic social media content is my two specialties and the ones that I harp on the most. But we're also going to build out SMS systems. We're going to build out your referral systems, partnerships and sponsorships, going to local clubs, all that kind of stuff, with a main focus on running paid ads and making content. Okay, so we're going to build all of that stuff out together with you. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. All right. And then you're going to start bringing in dozens and dozens of leads into your business a month that we can depend on. Right. So once we have that, that's when we can start filling up those spots in your training academy. And that's ultimately what's going to help you scale. Right. Then at that point, when we fill up all those spots and, we've got these big old groups that are full and you're making a ton of money, that's when we're going to help you scale even further. Okay. So here we're going to help you scale your marketing efforts. Yes. Up your ad spend, launch more ads, do it on a much higher level to bring in a ton more clients. Yes. But more importantly, we're going to help you find hire coaches to scale with your other and bring it with your other locations, right? We're going to create, and more importantly, we're going to create other streams of revenue. Okay, because you guys are going to get to a point where you're going to max out and not make as much money, right? I'm going to show you guys how to make more money within this type of business, how to create streams of revenue online, how to create other streams of revenue within this type of business to ultimately add to the bottom line, grow your revenue, more importantly, grow your profit, right? And be consistently growing. Okay, now here's our guarantee, right? Like I am so confident that what I do gets results and it works, that I am going to guarantee that we help you add at least another $3,000 in profit in 4 months, or we will refund you in full at the end of the 4 months, and we will work with you for free until we get you results, until we get the results that you ultimately signed up for. So we guarantee the results, all right? And what are the next steps from here, guys? So if you're interested and this sounds like you and you guys are action takers, you are a go-getter, and you're somebody who wants to take your business to the next level, then you're somebody that we can work with. And next steps basically is we're going to get on a free consultation call with me to determine if you're going to be a right fit for the program. All right, I'm just going to get on, we're going to ask some questions, see where you are in your business, see if I can actually help you. And if I feel like I can help you, then I'll show you more about the program, more in depthly on the call. And then we'll talk to you how to move forward on the call so we can start hitting the ground running, start taking our action takers, start taking our go-getters, and start getting results right away. And all you have to do, sign up with the call, is using the link below in the description. So I'm going to add a link in the description in the YouTube video just to sign up with me on a call. And you can also reach out to me via Instagram at coach.noahv. You can always shoot me a DM there. I'm always down to talk to you guys. I'm always giving out free content, going on lives, doing all that kind of great stuff. But yeah, guys, that's everything for me today. I hope this video brought an immense amount of value to you. I hope you guys take the next steps in growing your training business. And if you have any questions, just feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, whatever. Send me a DM. You can shoot me a text at 919-283-9670. Whatever y'all need, I'm here for you. I got you guys for life. I hope you guys have a good one and go make some freaking money. Peace.